Rad, cool. What's up, Miami? What's up, California? Guys, pop in the chat too. Pop in the chat. Another question. How long have you been in real estate? I'm 11 years right now. 90 days. What's up, 90 days? What's up, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 37 years? Laura, dang, you should be up here. 1 week, Jose Perez. 1 day. What's up, 1 day? Awesome. All right, guys, let me just see. Let's see. I'm excited for this icon panel today. We've got Marty Burnett. We've done a panel together before, and we've got Vanessa, who it looks like she's restarting. Just waiting for Anne Marie. Anne Marie. So, okay, guys, give us a minute here. I'm excited for you guys to be a part of this panel today, and I am not the moderator, but certainly help out. Well, last time our moderator didn't show. Awesome. Looks like we've got our moderator. Anne?
Good morning. This is my first time doing this. Where do you want me?
No, you can. Yeah, no, you're the boss today. So
I'm the boss. Okay, I'm running it, huh?
Yeah, you are. You can sit anywhere you want. So.
Okay. All right. So can you give me a little heads up how this needs to go?
Yeah, absolutely. So, well, you're the moderator today, and we've got 86 people who are in the audience who are listening to us, and we've just, we've achieved that icon status, and so there's a lot of people who want to learn some of your successes and failures, and comment in on what works and what doesn't. Talk about what might have happened in the past or what worked, and then what should, what are we looking towards the future to do in order to get business. People are often curious about what's some of the best technology out there. What is some of the best techniques and best practices for getting new business or retaining clients, providing an amazing experience. And so, our job is really to just field some questions to one another, ask the audience what's important to them. If you look back, you can see how many people have, how long they've been in the business. We've got people anywhere from their first day in real estate all the way to 37 years. So, yeah. Asking important questions that hopefully will deliver some good value.
Okay. Should we just start maybe with introducing the panel?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so David Brooke, welcome. Thank you for being here today. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been in the business and icon stuff?
So I've been in the business for 11 years now, going on 12. I am, like I said, from Connecticut. I run a real estate team of about 40-something agents. And last year we did 650 sales. And I've been an icon. This will be my 3rd year being an icon. So pumped to be here today.
Wow, that's awesome. So you're a mega team. Would you be considered?
Yep. Yeah, we're a mega team.
Awesome. Okay, Marty Barnett, how you doing, Marty?
Hey, I'm doing good. I am from Nashville. I work in Nashville, Tennessee. So things here are still hot and doing well. My husband and I have been in real estate and run a team together for years. Right now, we've had big teams, we've had small teams. I think, right now we're got some exciting stuff that's happening in our business. So we're growing our team bigger right now. So that's kind of cool. The national market's great. We are seeing signs of slight, I don't want to say adjustments, that might be too, it might be a little bit aggressive, but we are seeing some slight changes. Nothing abrupt. So I know that was a big topic of conversation on the last panel I was on, people wanting to talk about markets. Yeah, I've been doing it a long time. We're a 3rd-year icon. We've been at EXP for 3 years. We were originally owners at Keller Williams, had a mega agent office and a mega agent team there, and made the switch to EXP, and best business decision thus far that we've made. So I hope I can add some good information and help somebody in the audience. And I know I'm going to learn a lot. I've been on a panel with all these guys, and they're just amazing folks.
Yes, it is amazing. I agree. I mean, even just being either your honor panel or in the audience, I always learn something every time I join the meeting. So it's absolutely amazing. So thank you so much. Timothy, good morning. We freeze. Do we got Timothy? Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Said that. Wasn't Timothy, was it?
No, that's Vanessa.
Okay, is Timothy not here?
I don't know if he's on stage or not.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Tim made it today.
I'm sorry, he couldn't make it.
Yeah, I don't think he can make it today.
Okay, no problem. Okay, Vanessa, good morning. Welcome.
Hi, good morning. So I'm actually in Santa Fe, New Mexico. So I'm on vacation and doing this, and found out I didn't have a microphone. So I had to hurry and make a shift and get everything going. So I am like really happy to be here. So I'm Vanessa Nunez. I am a 6-time ICON agent. I'm from the Austin, Texas market. However, I do work farm and ranch, so I work all over the state of Texas. So that's kind of a unique perspective. We're definitely seeing a little shift in our market. Things are sitting a little bit longer, and people are having a little wig out for sure. I mean, I got a big ranch closing today, and I had to calm him down. But we did approach this as a very unique situation. So I think it's going to take a lot of creativity as we're coming into this market. And if you haven't been in a little bit of a slowdown, this is where take advantage of those who of us have been in that market prior to. Other than that, I didn't know what the other questions were.
Okay, well, thank you for making it. I think that's ICON agents know how to pivot, right? Know how to kind of get your microphones going, go with the flow, and go where the business is going, and we definitely have to pivot in this. I don't know, the last 2 weeks, I'm seeing a really big change. The market is just shifting I'm from Nashville as well. And I'm seeing a really big change. A ton of listings I have, which, a few weeks ago, you'd be killing for a listing. And now a lot of them are just sitting, and regular offers, regular inspections, regular appraisals. So, I think correction is a good word, but, I'd be curious to hear what everybody else in different areas and different locations. So I don't know, we want to go to the audience to see if anybody has any questions, or what is the need, or what the topic wants to be, or I don't know if you just put it in the chat box or raise your hand. I'm not sure how that works.
Yeah, so typically what we do is just kind of like we'll kind of direct it, and then we can fill in with some of the questions that are going on. So let's talk through a couple of objection handlers that people are facing right now when it comes to some sellers in the market who are apprehensive in order to sell because they're just not sure if they've reached their peak and where they're going to go. So let me kind of pose that over to Marty and Vanessa. What would you guys say to some of the sellers right now who are apprehensive of selling?
This is Marty in Nashville. Again, we aren't seeing a ton of adjustment. We are seeing, instead of, for example, maybe where we were getting 10 offers, maybe now we're getting 3 or 4, maybe we're getting 5. It just depends on the price point and, the location. But, I've been on several listing appointments this week. People aren't really flipping out here just yet, and I don't think there's any reason to, quite honestly. But I have had some conversations with some folks. Have a lot of people want to make sure that they haven't missed the peak, or haven't. What I feel like is happening in our market, and this may or may not be what's happening in your guys' market, but we've gone through this phase where everybody is listing, and then at a certain price point, and then these buyers are used to having to bid over these list prices to quote unquote win the listing or win the deal. So what I'm educating my sellers on this, you know, I'm saying, so here's how it's been going, and you guys have heard, we priced it at this, people bid, right? And so they're bidding against one of another, maybe it's 10 over, maybe it's 50 over, you know, I've seen some go up to $100,000 over. But so now all the comps, you comp a house out and it looks really high. I mean, all over the board. But what we have to look at is where the price point started and where it was bid up to. And then we have to be really, really careful with our pricing. Because they will justifiably comp out really high, but if you price them at that tip top price, then what I'm seeing is the buyers are saying, you know what, this is going to go over, I can't compete there. So we've hit kind of, I think we're more hitting a ceiling on our pricing, and we have to be very strategic. And so I'm doing a lot of educating with sellers right now about that. I'm showing them lots of stats and numbers, showing them, oh, this house over there, you know how they do when you go in, the house down the street brought 500. Right. But it started at 475. So it was bid up 25,000. And the one next door to it was started at 450. And, you know, so we're looking at those numbers and trying to be really strategic in how we price. We are starting to see some price reductions, but I've been studying those numbers as well. And the price reductions are where what I'm seeing mostly is where people are comping them out at that highest point. And then they're pricing them a little above that, which is what we would do in a normal market. You know, the house next door sold for X, we're going to price it $5,000 higher than that, you know, to keep, you know, see what we can do. In this market, they're having to reduce back down. So my question is, you know, if you price tip top and you're having to reduce back down, if you had started at the reduced number, would you have gotten the tip top number or not? We don't know. So I'm giving my sellers choices. Like, they have to be comfortable with the reduction if they go tip top price, and that's not going to, you know, blow their mind to reduce. I'm also seeing some buyers coming in asking for closing costs, asking for title. That's not something that's been paid here in that I can remember in over a year or more. So you know, we're saying no as a seller, like, hey, we may pay your title, but we're not paying your closing costs, you know, and the buyers are accepting and going on. We are definitely seeing people trying things that we haven't seen in a while. And so I'm just doing a lot of educating with the sellers and preparing them so they know. So that way when it happens, they're not completely flipped out.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I feel like too, like days on market, you know, when you took $1 million listing, you know, a couple of years ago, you took that listing for, you know, a year, you know, or multi-million dollar, you know, you needed time for that buyer. Where a couple of weeks ago, you know, I was taking listings I'm like, give me 30 days. And now I think we're back to, I don't know about a year, obviously. I don't think we're there, but, I think it's just going to take a little bit longer, a little bit more normal. Vanessa, are you feeling that in your market as well?
Absolutely. In May, we started out with 2,200 homes on the market. And as of last night, we had 7,300 homes on the market. And I think if you're not pricing right, like I gave my clients one, and this is just an average home. So I do all price points, but I have an average home in our area that comp showed 409 to 415 respectively. He wanted 415. It took, and it's a rare property, being a single story with 3-car garage and only 1,700 square foot, but it took 10 days to get a contract. And then all of a sudden today I have 3 other people like, well, you went under contract, we were submitting. So you're seeing like definitely a slowdown and agents not communicating at the pace we were communicating before. And I think if you're not selling correctly, it's not going to do very well. So I agree with Marty. You've got to price right. Have to price right.
Yeah.
Hey guys, real quick, we're getting a little bit of feedback. So when you're not talking, if you could stay on mute, that'd be awesome, because I'm really wanting to hear what all these guys are saying, and I'm getting some feedback from some of the mics, I think, that aren't on mute when somebody else is talking.
Okay. Are you getting feedback with me, Marty?
I was when Vanessa was talking.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Timothy, if we could just change the topic a little bit and maybe go to the buyers. I'm finding too that people are freezing up a little bit with looking at their portfolios and probably not as aggressive as they were. Is anybody, or maybe Timothy, we could toss the ball to you. What are you feeling in your market, buyers, sellers, if you want to speak on that a little bit?
I just got back. Somebody was knocking at my door. So sorry, they wouldn't quit knocking. So I had to jump in and answer the door.
Okay. Does somebody else want to take that question? Buyer on the buy side?
Yeah, so on the buy side, I think a lot of times real estate agents are actually, they're shying away from this topic of interest rates and inflation, and they're actually moving towards urgency in order to combat that, right? And so what they're saying is like, hey guys, buy quick before the prices drop. Hey guys, sell quick before the prices drop. Or hey, don't worry about those prices dropping, that the market's not going to crash, so buy quick before they go up even higher, and you're going to have more interest rates on your shoulders. When you put people into that place of urgency, yeah, it might work for some, but a lot of people tend to, and I don't know if you feel this way at all, but when someone's ever pressuring you in order to make a decision on the short term, what do you tend to do? Your brain tends to say like, hey, I got to step back here and I got to reevaluate, and they tend to like push back. They're going to pump the brakes. And then a lot of times people are going to be like, you know what, I'm just going to wait. I don't want to rush in and make this decision, because a lot of times you'll get guys into the spot where even if they do go ahead and motivate themselves to get a pre-approval and start looking for homes, they're constantly under that pressure of like, oh my gosh, I have to choose because, I might miss out. And then when they do, they get under those inspections if they do have them, and then they want to back out. There's a lot of cold feet that can start to happen. It's just really, it's not the best approach. In fact, what is a better approach is education. And so what we're doing a lot of times is we're making those phone calls to those leads that are out there. And, hey, did you buy a home yet? And the answer is, well, let me walk you through it. Number one, if they say yes, okay, great. Hey, hope you have an awesome time. From time to time, and let's stay in touch in case anything ever shifts in your life. No problem. If they say no, then the actual, logic tree will face like, okay, great. So, and we get right out in front of it. Did you pull back or not buy yet? Because inflation is happening right now. And obviously the interest rates, we get right out in front of it. And many times if you continue to follow that logic tree, they'll be like, actually, no. I'll be like, okay, great. So why is it that you kind of step back from your home search? And they say, well, honestly, we were tired of getting outbid on properties. And that's a great opportunity for you to step back and say, you know what, the market has actually kind of shifted a little bit. And, we want to make sure that everyone buys a property that's still within their financial means. And we want to be here to advise on what's going on. And so you're actually seeing a little bit of market pullback here as the market kind of shifts. And so, those houses that normally had 18 or 20 offers on them might only have 3 to 5. And so you really have a good opportunity before the market recalibrates. That's, if any, urgency. As we start to recalibrate here, we can move into the next phase. If, on the other hand, they say, yes, I did pull back due to interest rates and inflation and rising prices, you're going to say, obviously, I totally understand. Obviously, the market is responding that way. And here's what I need you to understand. We're never going to push you towards a sale. In fact, we're only going to be here to advise and sort of help you as to what your family needs. That's within your financial capabilities. Now, as soon as you say that, all of a sudden they've started to be disarmed. They've actually realized like, okay, it's called conceding and argument making. Oh, I've conceded to your side that yes, that's actually occurring. And so now we can agree to it. Now I'm not trying to talk you out of your fears. I'm actually understanding that that is a reality that exists. It's not an unknown where I'm just uncertain on how to bid on a property with, without home inspections. And I'm like kind of convincing you not to do that. This is something that actually exists in the market. Anyone who opens a newspaper can understand that. So as soon as you start to agree with that and stop relating it, well, back in the day, it used to be 14%, and back in the day, like stop doing that, right? And start realizing for themselves, hey, what are your financial capabilities? Oh, okay, they actually are this. Okay, great. So why is it that you were planning on moving? Well, I was planning on moving because we had another kid and we're bursting at the seams. Great. Well, people buy and sell homes, and regardless of all, markets, whether they're up markets or down markets. So tell me, what would that do for your family if you did move, right? And now you've related it back to the reason that they truly want to move, rather than trying to outscript them out of the fear or out of the reality that prices are increasing still, and out of that reality that there are still multiple offers, and out of the reality that interest rates are increasing. Because once you start trying to negate those facts, they're quickly going to be talked back into it, because they've got so many fears coming from every single side, right? But if we get out in front of that for buyers, it's much more successful. Hopefully that's helpful.
Yeah, that's key, David. I love that. I mean, what do people do when you put that fear factor in place? That's exactly what they do. They back away. And I like what you said about people are going to they have to buy and sell every day. So I mean, we can't be panicking about where the market is going. People are going to be getting married, babies are going to be born. I would love to just propose this question of what is everyone on the panel, just throw it out there, doing to kind of, we are pivoting now, we are shifting, or any different lead sources, or just what you do to get the business, to have those intelligent conversations. What does that look like for each of you? Maybe we could just start with Marty.
I agree with you guys both. With a buyer's market pending, I mean, obviously we need to really go back to educating, because before you didn't have to educate. And I pretty much stayed true to that all the way through even this crazy market, and was still educating my buyers that you make your money when you buy, not when you sell. So the time to buy is when you buy right, no matter what that market is. So I think if we stay to those true words, versus saying, hey, it's a buyer's market, hey, it's a seller's market, and we stay to you make your money when you buy, and make sure that they're educated and we're buying under the right circumstances, be it you're leveraging the inspection, you're leveraging, all the seller pays the cost, whatever it is, then I think that no matter what, you'll still continue to sell.
Are you doing anything different with your lead sources, or can you share a little bit about that?
I'm a Sphere agent. So for me, I am totally 100% Sphere. So it's hard for me because I've never generated leads. I've never paid for leads. Literally 100% since my very first year in the business in 2011 and becoming Rookie of the Year for Austin Board of Realtors. I've just kind of set that pace, and my clients stay so loyal to me that if there's a problem, they're coming back to me. Like one of them just had something on a fence line, and I got with them right away and said, okay, here's the things, let's go back and look at all of this. Even though that they put up the fence after, they have permission from their neighbors. We have everything in writing. We sent it over to the attorneys, and now we're letting them figure it out. But they come back to me first. So I think when you establish yourself as the resource and the expert in the industry, that all your buyers and sellers will continue to come back to you. So, and then therefore refer you on. Like recently I've been like the fourth agent for a couple of people, and each of those people have referred 4 or 5 more people to me, just for the sheer fact that they had been working with agents and couldn't get under contract. And within 3 days we were under contract and we've already closed. So I think it's just how much of it do you establish yourself as an expert on the buy side, and then on the listing side, it's you're making sure you're educating them as well. As for lead source, again, I'm a Sphere, so I can't speak on generating leads and anything outside of that.
That's awesome. That's great that you have that sphere of influence. Do you do anything to stay in touch with them, or is it just organically, like they just call you and know that
It's both. It's both. I do have a second assistant that she is in charge of. I have a transaction coordinator who does all my, the day-to-day business. And then the other is a Sphere, like coordinator. So she coordinates all my parties and stuff like that. So I am the main sponsor. This is the first year I've actually dived into advertising. So I'm advertising at a big concert venue, and I am the main concert. So every single concert, like major country music or what have you, I have 30 tickets to give away because of the sponsorship. And so it really stands true. I have a commercial that plays and a big banner that says EXP Realty, and then I just put my name on a little bit smaller. So that's really helped establish, you know, the connection, because I'm always giving them something. And then I do a big vineyard party once a year for come out to the wine country, enjoy a day off. Some people take it for the whole weekend. It's a good chance to really connect and just sit and enjoy. And most people don't get the chance to go to vineyards and talk to the winemaker and be in the wine room where they actually make the wine and taste it right out of the barrels. So I kind of do stuff like that, and she stays in touch with them all.
That's awesome. What does her day, so you called her a, and I'm sorry if I don't remember.
She's like my sphere coordinator. So
Sphere
she,
coordinator. So
instead of
is she a full-time?
no, she's not full-time. So I keep her on retainer. So it's like a $400 a month retainer. And then whatever she bills me out. So usually somewhere it's about probably like 1 month it's 1,600, another time it's 1,000. It just depends on what she's doing that month and what, you know, what she has on the board and what she's prepping. So it's really kind of a nice little more like assistant on demand. And funny, she was one of my clients, and she's like, you are amazing at selling real estate, but you suck at staying in touch. But we buy all of our houses from you because it doesn't make sense to buy them from anybody else because we don't get the same deals. So they bought 9 homes from me. And she's like, this is what I do for my clients, because she still works for some of her clients. And she's like, this is what I'd like to do for you. I'm like, okay, you're hired. That's how I got my transaction coordinator too.
That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. So is she does like event, you know, she like an event coordinator? And
Yep.
Does she call you here too? Does she call them on the phone or just?
She sends emails, invites, and like if there's something special, like this year, this past year, I had 2 tragic situations where within a month I lost, both of my clients lost their husbands. And so I let her know this. So she went out and found something that was like a memorial stone for them. So she does stuff like that as well. So I mean, whatever it is that I need to have done, she's kind of that serendipitous person that I can say, hey, here it is. And she'll go research everything and make that happen. So right now my husband is coming on and joining my team as a domestic team. And I've given her a whole bunch of stuff because we're rebranding as Ranch, Texas. So I have her going and looking at all kinds of stuff where we can kind of have quote unquote swag. So, I mean, whatever I need her to do, that's what she does.
Wow. That's client giant on steroids. That's like amazing process. That sounds wonderful. What about everybody else? What are they doing for either lead gen, keeping up with your sphere, getting in new business? David, do you want to? Oh wait, David is here. No, David's not here.
Yeah,
David.
I can certainly jump in. So one of the things that I do is I'm a big systems guy. I've always been a systems guy. I'd love to be able to do more with my time. And the only way that I can do that is either be in more places, clone myself, or somehow, you know, get systems. And so given the difficulties of the other 2, I've decided to implement as many as possible. And so I used a couple of programs in order for me to reach as many people as possible. So I use a program called the Reach app. And you can find that online. It's an iOS app for iPhone. I'm not sure if it works for Android. But with that, you can download it and upload a CSV of all of your clients, and you can mass text, and it's directly from your phone number. So it's not like another phone number that comes out, it's a mass text. And so I look to mass text all of my clients or leads specific messaging. And what it'll do is it can also, like, you know, fill in their first name wherever you have them in your phone. And it's a really cool way that you can say like, hey, Jim, just came out with another market report for what's happening in Connecticut. Take a look at the video below. And so people will watch those videos, and it links them to YouTube. And then there's like links below in the chat, or excuse me, in the comments for where they should go. And then like little HomeBot links so they can sign up for my programs and get linked in. Really, really cool. So it's a great way to stay in touch with the client. So I use that. I also use Slide Broadcast. I'll put that in the chat. Reach app, texting, and then Slide Broadcast calls. Reach app is like $5 a month, so it's super cheap. And then obviously normal texting charges or whatever apply. But the other way to do it is to do Slide Broadcast. And what you can do is you can actually like upload all of your clients' phone numbers into it. It does call from an unknown number, so that's a little interesting. You can always start the convo or the voicemail by saying, "Hey, it's David Brook. Just calling you from a direct business line right now, so it might show up as unknown, but wanted to leave you a quick message. Yes, this is a blast voicemail, but here's the important thing. I just sent you a text regarding some of what's happening in the market right now." Or, "Hey guys, market just shifted. I know that might not mean anything for you, but I'm going to text you a link over to where your home value is today. Just take a quick look at it. It's really important." So whatever that is. And I use that for agent attraction. I use that for a lot of things. So I did an agent attraction thing, last week, and I had, I blasted it to 5,000 agents. You get five agent attraction appointments set up. So it's really cool to use. So both those programs help a lot.
So does the Slide Broadcasting, does that also send a text as well, or you have to use the Reach along with that?
Reach for text, Slide Broadcast for calls. So every one of those is going to like have one thing that it does really well.
Do you have to say in there, this is a blast, like a mass voicemail, according to Slide Broadcast, or?
You don't have to, but it shows up as an unknown number. So a lot of times people will be like, "Why does it show unknown if it's David Brook?" Right? Obviously, don't make calls, on the do not call list or whatever. But it's a great way that you can stay in touch with people.
Gotcha. That's very, very cool. Okay, Marty, what do you got? Anything interesting, pivoting, new lead gen? Anything new you're doing different?
Yeah, we've actually got a really exciting thing that's coming down the line, and I don't know if I mentioned this in any of my panels yet, but with some of the markets that I'm hearing shifting, you're going to see some of your I hate to say old because I don't like to be called old, but like some of your more senior type agents may decide, you know what, I've been through the high market, I've been through the low market, I'm ready to take it to the house, retirement mode. So we are actually had an agent that has been in my market, very prominent agent, really great agent. It's been in my market. We've been in several of, we were at Remax together, we were at Keller together. She hadn't come to EXP yet. I'm hoping that she will, but she contacted Matt and I. She was reading the book, The Golden Handoff. I don't know if any of you guys have read that, but she isn't in one that this market is it's just done her in. She's ready to retire. She's got a great book of business, but she didn't just want to put it down. So she read this book, and then she interviewed several different agents to figure out who she was going to leave her business, to partner with to transition her business. And she chose Matt and I to do that with, which I was extremely honored that she would even consider me, much less pick me. So that was extremely flattering, and it made me feel really good about my business. So we're in the process of the transition. She has not made the formal announcement yet. That is going to start in August, and then we're going to have a big, semi-retirement party for her, and her database will come into ours, and we will market together for 2 to 3 years, where she will get referral fees, and our team will handle the business, and then she will phase out after that. We're super excited about it. I mean, this could potentially, double our business. And it wasn't business that I necessarily was looking for or needed, but what a great opportunity. So newer agents, if you can find an experienced agent that's been in business a long time, latch onto them as a mentor. Maybe you can position yourselves to do something similar to this. And you see agents coming and going in the business when you have shifts in market. And I think that we will see quite a few agents if the market does continue to change, move out of the market or move out of the business. And I think that's okay. I think that's okay, but take advantage of that. If you're going to be one of us crazy folks that stays around for 20, 30, 40 years, then, jump in there and try to connect with some of these agents that you think, might be nearing retirement, and read that book and try to put something in place. If this goes well, so far it's going really well. We have a great game plan. I'm super excited about it. I'll keep you guys posted if I stay on these, these panels and such. But I think it is a really great way to jumpstart your business, grow your business, take your business to the next level, if you haven't done that. So that's a new thing that's coming for us, and we're really excited about it, which is one of the reasons that we are ramping up our team a little bit and adding some team members here and there, because we know that this is going to generate quite a bit more business for us, and we need to be prepared to handle it professionally. So really excited about it. Maybe that help one of you guys.
Love that. So being on the topic of a new agent, I'll just throw this question out to the panel. What would be your recommendation for somebody brand new? I think there's somebody in the audience fairly new, just starting out with EXP. What would be, they need to get business right away. What would be your recommendations to get them going?
I can speak on that. I was actually, when I moved to Austin area, I was coming from an island where I had lived for 15 years and getting into real estate. So I think getting out now that, everybody's kind of back to normal, jump in a coffee shop, sit out there with your computer. When you're out there looking for homes and making sure that you understand your MLS and the market, people inevitably ask what you're doing when they see, you looking at houses or whatever it is that you have pulled up, especially when it comes to real estate, and it leads to easy conversations. I think that's a really good place to start if you're looking at on your own on a day-to-day and you're going, oh my gosh, what do I do? That's how I started my business. Would go to a different coffee shop every day of the week just to work for a couple of hours, and then I would go to homes that were vacant and just really familiarize myself with the areas, look at some of the new builds that are in your direct area, whether they're production builds or small custom spec homes. Get to know those builders and get to know the actual market is what they have. Also find an agent like Marty was talking about that's experienced. I have several young agents, and I mean young, that they're college age, that have reached out to me and said, hey, what can I do? I don't do leases, so I throw every lease over to them. Some of them have turned into great deals for them, but also they do all my open houses. Or if I can't show, like today, I'm paying an agent $500 to do a final walkthrough and go to a closing on my $4.4 million ranch that's closing today. So I've given them $500 and said, here you go. Would you, be me through the walkthrough? Prepped my client for it, that, what to be there. I've already done the walkthrough, went a week earlier to make sure, but I give opportunity to agents who normally wouldn't be in, those kind of situations, and it helps build their confidence. And then if you ever need anything, they're going to come to you and ask for advice. And I think the more we can do as experienced agents is help somebody up. So making sure that you're giving them the right advice and mentoring without expectation, mentoring without expecting, something in your hand. Because if we don't mentor new people in the business and help them get to the type of agents that we are, then we're not doing our industry justice.
Love that. Always give back, and then it always comes back to you. And what a great opportunity, just somebody to just help you out, and you're helping them, and they have a chance to work in that world, multi-million-dollar, get their price point up. That's fantastic. Does anybody else have any good nuggets for some brand new agents getting started right away?
Yeah, I would strongly recommend jumping in and finding mentors that will walk alongside you. I mean, I can't encourage that enough. I know it sounds like you're asking the barber if you need a haircut. They're always going to say, yeah, but for me as a team leader, I cannot recommend that enough. People get started into this business thinking, okay, I know how to fill in some of the blanks on a real estate purchase contract, or I could probably, jump in and, get some of my friends or family to buy a house, or I'll just go to an open house. But like literally, you do not know what you don't know. And in such a changing market like this one, where we're likely to see at least 20% of the agents wash out. And NAR stats, stating that 87% of real estate agents are, backing out within their first year. Like if you're brand new, there is nearly a 90% chance that you won't make it the first year. But that stat goes down significantly when partnered with a mentor who's providing support, training, leads. It's one of the great things I love about this company is having mentors or sponsors who are a part of your business. But I can't stress it enough, to bring yourself around those who are doing the business really well right now. Learning how they do their inspection process, learning how they write their contracts, learning how they communicate with their clients, learning about their items of value and marketing programs, or learning from them, best practices during the transaction. Those are the types of things that are absolutely invaluable. And some of the most successful people that I know started out. Like, it's cool if you get started into this business and you had a great run right at the beginning. That's amazing. Some people make that. That's great. There's people who jump on YouTube and become YouTube stars. But that's not the rule. That's the exception. Right? That's the exception to be rookie of the year. That's very cool. But for the most part, real estate agents thrive by having some sort of a mentor. So my strong suggestion would be to align yourself someone in your market or someone beyond who's doing really well.
Wow, that's awesome. I'm going to throw this out there, and maybe David, you want to take this first. As a team leader or anyone who is running a team, are you in production, and what does your team structure look like with admin and agents? And what does that look like?
Yeah, so right now, I do still sell homes. Last year I did about 23 million myself. I enjoy it still, but I am deeply committed to my real estate team. I also do real estate development, and I own a couple other businesses. So, I work a lot. I do sign off roughly around 4:30 to 5 every day, picking my daughter up and, just spending time with her for, till 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. And then, I might sign on and do a little bit more. My days are really packed. I front load my days with, admin support. So I have 7 full-time people working for me. So that's really big for me, is I multiply my hours, knowing that I can't spend really after 4:30 on the job. I pack my morning with how admin are going to help. So that way the work gets done. But when I do that, I can really get a lot of sales done. And then I just focus most of the day on training, giving back, that kind of thing, which is very helpful for agent attraction.
What are those 7 admin? What are their titles? What do they consist of?
Yeah, so I have an executive assistant. He manages most of my business life and my personal life. And so, from 8 o'clock in the morning, onwards, he's constantly setting up my day, whether that's, just scheduling my calls, he's in my inbox and, making sure that, the emails that I see and I'm responding to are the important ones that I need to be responding to. Everything else is taken care of by him. If it's going to be a response on a deal, there's very few things in the real estate transaction that actually require the agent to truly give a navigating response to. Right? There's very few times, unless it's an offer or a negotiation or something like that. The rest of it's hey, can you get me that form? Hey, did they do this? Hi, who is the person on that? That's most of the emails that nearly most real estate transactions, or real estate agents, they just spend their time staring at their inbox for most of the day and responding to these emails. It's I don't understand. I work with agents who do 80, 90 deals a year. No one's staring at their inbox. They're just handling the major things. And then we have transaction coordinators who assist on most of the other things. They're CC'd on every single email. We have a listing coordinator who brings all of their, properties to the market. So she does that. We've got a director of operations that handle all of our bills, all of our lead routing, all of our we have offices that I run. We have an ISA department with 2 people in it who are constantly on the phones, setting appointments for our agents. We have marketing people. It's a pretty big operation to run 650 deals a year. So, but if you can just touch base with your top people right in the morning, that's going to multiply the amount of hours that you have in a day.
incredible. Quite an operation. That's really, it sounds like it's a well-oiled machine, just kind of runs on autopilot. You got everybody in their place. And is anybody else running like a team with admin, kind of being more hands-off and more into leadership role? Anybody else on the panel have a team structure like that?
I do have a team structure. I'm not by any means hands off. I haven't seen that. I've heard people talk about the hands off model. I just haven't seen it executed very well around here. I'm very much involved. I do have an admin. We've got a marketing coordinator. I've got several agents that work with me. I mean, we just all work cohesively. I'm still very much in the market. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy interacting with clients. I do a lot of lead gen. We're predominantly referral based and repeat based. So we love on our clientele quite often. We do, events and things of that nature. I enjoy those things. We do some online stuff. We just do it more organically. We really focus on building reviews, which has brought us quite a few leads off of Google. And I was on I was at a round table just this week in Orlando with some agents that were talking about beefing up your Google reviews. And I hadn't thought about it before, but he was like, when you get a lead in from Google, they're usually extremely legit, like ready to go, ready to buy, ready to sell. And I never thought about that, but the leads that we do get that come in from Google based on our reviews, they're ready to do something. And they're not like, sometimes you get Zillow leads and you nurture them for a year or two before they actually turn into buyers or sellers. And those Google leads, since you mentioned it, it clicked with me. I'm like, you're right, those do convert really, really quickly. So if you were gonna put money somewhere, it sounds like Google might be a good spot to do that. Again, most of ours is repeat and referral, but I do run a team, and I've run big teams, small teams over the years. We've, as our life has changed and we've, the market shifted and things that we wanted to do have changed. We've had smaller teams and bigger teams. Like I said, right now we're growing our team a little bit bigger, but I wouldn't say that I'm hands off. I'm definitely in a leadership role. I try to teach and coach with the agents that come on to the business. I'm a broker. We actually have an EXP office, like a satellite office. So I'm the broker here, and I work very closely with my agents. We're a pretty tight knit team. So ours is not. We don't generate a whole lot of leads and then hand them out, and that's a different model than what we're using. And I know people see a lot of success with that model, but we've seen a lot of success with the different model, which is more repeat referral and teaching them how to really dig into networks and generate organic leads. I've just found for me that works really well. I like the belly to belly. I like getting to know people. I like the relationship building. And my husband's had great success with that in the commercial industry as well, because those commercial deals are very much they're very much a belly to belly and a relationship type business. I'm talking really, really big deals. So we lean on that more than anything. And even coming new to an area, I've had agents do, mom groups and chamber, getting on chamber boards and things like that. I've been able to grow beautiful businesses from relationships. So that's just the avenue we kind of take. It served us really well, and for me, I really enjoy that part of the business. So for my personal perspective, that's just worked really well for me.
You, Marty. I think it's interesting. Everybody runs their business a different way. And I guess when I say hands off, that's probably the wrong word. I mean, sounds like David is action-packed day, just getting everything done, double downing on all of his activities. And so I'm sure he's very, very much involved with what he's doing. But it's just interesting how we all run our business different ways. And, they say, you do what you love, you never work another day in your life. So, that's fantastic that you can do that. I know we lost Vanessa. She just texted and said her connection she can't reconnect to the world. So if we could just pivot a little bit and switch to, I know Marty, you mentioned putting money at Google. Do you mean like Google AdWords, or I mean, you mentioned the reviews, but are you talking about how do you put money on Google? Did I lose Marty? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm sorry. Repeat that question.
Oh, I'm sorry, Marty. Just you had mentioned when you were speaking about Google, and you mentioned about the reviews. Do you spend money on Google, like Google AdWords, or do you do anything there with ad spend?
We have pushed Google reviews for years. Like we send out text, different things with the link right to our Google page and ask for our clients after we've completed a transaction with them to please write a Google review. And we stay on top of those, even to the point where if I have to call and say, hey, I know you've been getting these emails or texts, they're not generic, I promise. Do you mind just popping on there and doing a quick review? Because we don't do a lot of pay-per-clicks or we don't buy leads or any of that stuff. But the one online, and I still get Zillow leads and things like that, just because I've been in the business for 18 years. And I guess at some point they feel like they owe you street cred. I don't know. I'm not super duper into the technology stuff. But what I have found with the Google leads that come through, the ones that call and say, hey, or email and say, hey, I saw your reviews on Google. You've got 100 5-star reviews. I'm ready to list my house. Can you come talk to me? So that's what I'm saying, like the quality of those leads versus a Zillow lead that comes via email that, I will call or one of my agents will call 4, 5, 6 times. We'll follow up with emails, and nurture for a while. Those turn up too. There's sometimes a longer farm to get them to turn into deals. I have found that building my Google reviews and something that one of the guys at the round table that I was at, nurturing that Google account, changing your pictures up, making sure things stay relevant. The leads that come through there just seem to be a lot more warm. Those people are ready to do business. And it was funny because I hadn't really thought about it until I sat at that panel. And this one guy that was at our panel, he's from Dallas, or in our round table, he was from Dallas. And he had really noticed it as well. And he had really started pouring into, making it a habit of updating and circulating pictures on his Google page and making sure all that, really nurturing that page. And he said he has even seen more of a turnout for that. So again, I'm probably not the one to talk to or give a lot of techie advice, but me not being super techie or not into the buying of leads or any of that stuff, the Google has served us really, the Google leads have served us really, really well. David could probably speak better to that. I know that's a big arm of their business or being on panels with him, but it has done well for us as well.
Wow, thank you so much. That was a question that was in the chat box. Why is Google better? And I think you kind of answered that. Maybe even if somebody else wants to take this, David, or somebody else wants to handle this, what is the way that you get the Google review? Like, is there a process that you work on? Is it your sphere that you're sending it out? Probably, I would imagine. But is there a process that goes in getting those Google reviews? If anyone wants to take that one.
Yeah, guys, happy to take that one. I work with Brandon Lee. He's Google's direct guy for real estate nationwide. He's pretty pricey, but some of the top guys in EXP and Remax and other guys around the country use him. Those guys are, it used to be before, I want to say October 1 of last year, where you could just kind of blast it out to everybody and just get review after review. But Brandon even posted this past week that Google is starting to crack down more and more and more on the reviews and wanting to make sure that they are legitimate reviews and not just friends and family and some guy that you met, randomly to give you a Google review. And so they're going to want to see like interaction. They're going to want to see, some some real data in the review. It can't just be like worked with David and it was great. So they want to see some good stuff there. And so we've seen reviews get removed from other real estate teams, including our own. You know, there's a lot of guys out there who had, you know, hundreds of reviews, and then all of a sudden it just went in half. And so Google is really cracking down on that. Why? Because they want people to trust the Google platform as much as possible. It's in a similar way that, you know, Zillow kind of went about that, where, you know, they were having agents who just jumped on with a credit card and just bought zip codes, then really had no systems in place, and then ended up kind of like going broke and not returning customer calls. And then what does the customer end up doing? The customer ends up saying to other people, hey, don't go to Zillow because you're going to get some ridiculous agent that's out there that's never going to call you back. And that's what they don't want. They want to have really great experiences. So yeah, so a couple of ways that you can get your reviews. Obviously, make it super organic. We actually ask for the review when people are going through the process of buying a home. We ask them to list, hey, we were buying a property in Manchester, Connecticut. We were buying a property in West Hartford, Connecticut. And then to state exactly what's going on. You know, hey, we found it really helpful when they had a super, you know, great system that was provided by their listing coordinator, whatever it is. And so that's a great way that you can get your Google reviews. Google will start to flag you if you've got, you know, at least it did for me, if you just do a blast, like, hey guys, everyone, can you all review me? But we've seen even people get shut down because they try to blast it. It feels to Google like it's almost like a fake account. And so it's really hard. What are you going to like to jump on the phone with Google and be like, no, I'm not fake. So in order to get started, you need to create a Google My Business, and then actually request that they mail you out a form that verifies your business. And you know, so if you get that going, then you can start asking for some positive reviews from real clients.
Thank you, David. Also, I noticed with Google posting either video content or properties, I noticed that they've been flagging lately and taking down some. Are there certain criteria to put on Google, things that you're allowed and not allowed to do?
I mean, for myself, at this point, like, you know, I let my marketers kind of handle some of that stuff, but we're posting listings, you know, lots of photos there. We're trying to get interactions and insights on, you know, local areas. So that's what we're doing.
And is this Brandon Lee? Is he somebody that in EXP that is for hire, or what is his role?
No, he's a marketer. But a lot of he is one of the beta testers that Google uses for, you know, their real estate programs. So yeah, he's one of the top guys nationwide. He's not in EXP.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, guys. Well, we got 2 minutes left. Anybody just want to have like a nugget that they can share, just to leave the audience with, and just give them some. It's a Friday afternoon, maybe just one nugget on what they can do to get their business into action this weekend.
I'm going to say turn off the news, quit listening to any bad vibes, get your head right, and go talk to people. You know, make it happen. People like to do business with you know, energetic, happy, fun people. People are seeking that. So just, you know, go to work, talk to people, and you know, education is good. I'm just saying, turn off the TV, turn off the noise, get your mindset right, and focus on what your end goal is, and you will achieve it every time. I mean, I think mindset is huge. We haven't talked anything about that on this panel today, which I know David and I think sat in on, maybe Vanessa too, on one that was all about mindset. And I think that's huge. New agent, experienced agent, you know, big team, small team, mindset is everything. And so I think, you know, shutting out the noise, shutting off any negativity, staying informed, but keeping it at bay and just really focusing on what your goal is, going out there, make it happen, talk to people, be positive, and it's going to come together for you. But I am big on the whole mentor thing and aligning with people that are in a place where you want to go, and learning up like that too. So if I can be of help to anybody in the audience, I'm always honored to be on a panel with these amazing people. Sometimes I look around and think, where do I fit into this group? You know, how did I get here? But you guys are awesome. It's always great to hear what you have to say. I learn something every time I'm on one of these. I hope that I have contributed in some way to you all and have a